Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the ACTIVI Sports LU Boxing Training Gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the ACTIVI Sports LU Boxing Training Gloves. Got mine in the white and black colorway. 14 ounces, it is a lace-up only model. You can also get these in 16 ounces with 3 additional colorways that come in red, blue, or black. It's made of full genuine leather throughout the entire glove and utilizes a soft, smooth tri-cot liner on the inside of the hand compartment with layered foam padding over the knuckles that is firm in density. And lastly, the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, from a design standpoint, the first thing that really stood out to me with this glove was just the aesthetics of the glove. In fact, that was the reason I saw these and decided to purchase them. Is I saw these on social media, particularly on Instagram, and saw ACTIVI's profile, and that was kind of really the first thing that caught my eye was just the design of the glove. And I think they did a really good job with their logo design and just that kind of diagonal back of the wrist support design. So it really stands out, but it doesn't overshadow the gloves. It doesn't have too much going on or too little. It's to me, in my opinion, a very good looking glove. Now the leather on here, I would say has more of a smoother satin finish to it. It's not like a deeply textured type of leather. You do have the black ACTIVI logo on the back of the glove, and again, I think they did a great job with that in terms of having their look of the glove with the logo, but again, not overshadowing the actual glove. And I think it goes with the flow and the lines of the glove. So that's what really caught my eye. The other thing that caught my eye was this kind of the diagonal wrist support design on the back. Now, one thing to keep clear or make clear is that this is completely aesthetic. There's nothing functional about this diagonal wrist design. I know there's companies like Rival that do kind of a V wrist lock system where they actually have a functionality to it. With this is simply just for the look of the glove. So you do have the black, the white, and the black right here. Again, I think it does really nice offsetting the color. So you basically have a split between the colors. So you have white here, black, white, and then black again, and with the black logo. So I think, again, just looks like a really clean glove, and I like the way it looks. You do have the 14-ounce weight tag right here at the bottom that's stitched into the lower piping. The back of the wrist support, I'd say, is about an inch and a half of medium density foam padding on the back of the wrist. The inside layer that is up against your skin when you put your hand into the glove is definitely softer and smoother, so it's a little bit more comfortable for your hand when you have your hand on the inside of the glove. The inside wrist support, I'd say, is about a half inch firm dense foam. You can see how it rolls up to right about here and tapers off where the stitching is at. You have it on this side as well. The inner part of the thumb is black with ventilated holes. You also have, I'd say, a medium to smaller size grip bar with holes above the grip bar. Black stitching throughout. You also have ACTIVI on the outside of the thumb with a white leather attached thumb right there. As well, you do have black laces that are flat with plastic tips at the end. I found that the laces were a little bit short. I wish the laces were longer so you can get a couple more wraps around your wrists when you tie these down. Black piping as well on the inside right here, as well as on the bottom. So overall, a very clean looking glove. From a quality standpoint, I'd say that these are really good. The only issue I would say is going to be some areas, small areas, like of the stitching where you can see they kind of had to go over the same area more than once with the stitching right here on the piping. Weight wise, when I put these on the scale, again, these are advertised as a 14-ounce glove. I believe the left glove came at 14.3 and the right glove was at 14.5. So a little bit overweight, but not by much, and pretty on spot on with the weight with each glove. So a little overweight, nothing I'm too concerned with, especially with a training glove, but something to note when it comes to the quality. Outside of that, the leather is held up very nicely. No inconsistencies there. You can see the outside edges to kind of get you guys close up to it. Looks really clean. The back of the wrist support looks really good. No exposed liner on the inside. Rolling around to the thumb side, I think it looks real good. The inner thumb, where the thumb meets the index finger. I usually like to show those areas because typically that's kind of an area that's I would generally think it's harder to stitch because it's not like just like a flat piece coming to another piece where, you know, something like this is easier. You can just kind of come with it with the sewing machine. It's usually the more complex areas where you have weird angles and shapes that you have to kind of stitch through is typically where you see sometimes see some of the inconsistencies, or maybe where they kind of rush through it or kind of lazy to kind of clean it up. But that all looks pretty good. I mean, the leather right here where the inner part where the finger compartment is at looks really good. I wish that the grip bar was larger. The grip bar is a little bit on the smaller side. That black inner thumb looks good as well. So overall, quality-wise, these are good. I would say that just slightly overweight, needs longer laces, a little bit of small stitching opportunities, but other than that, it looks really good. The gloves are really well balanced as well. You can see the distribution of weight is done very nicely. So again, not top heavy, not bottom heavy, so a very well balanced glove. Comfort wise, sticking my hand into the glove, the first thing you notice is the liner. The liner feels amazing. And these are the kind of liners I like to use. The drawback with these soft foamy tricot liners is they tend to get kind of warm, hot, if you want to call it, once you put your hand into the glove and you start using these gloves. The hand compartment gets pretty hot and also soaks up sweat. It tends to soak up sweat more compared to those polyester nylon type liners. The good thing is that these liners typically don't have that issue where you get a lot of that excess material, which I personally hate. I hate when you have those liners that are kind of baggy on the inside, especially when it kind of comes towards the hand compartment area where your knuckles are at and where your fingers are at when they sit inside this finger compartment. And typically that's where you find that discomfort because you just have so much excess material that the manufacturer wasn't able to flatten or stretch out. So with this tricot liner, it sits nice and flush and smooth with the foam, so you don't have any issues throughout the entire hand compartment with excess liner. Wrist support feels really good. You can see the glove from a sizing standpoint for a 14-ounce glove is pretty much right on point. It's not overly huge, it's not super compact, it's right in the middle. The length of the glove doesn't go too far down on my forearm, so it's a good size. The wrist support feels really good. Thumb placement is perfect as well. As you'll also notice that the piping, the stitching where the thumb entry is at is large. So it gives you enough room for the fat part of your thumb. I mentioned this in many other videos where my area that I usually get uncomfortable with or get pinched down is right here with this piping. And oftentimes I'll have to put like a t-shirt or just like an old rag in there to kind of loosen that up. And sometimes it can be kind of a pain because of how much you want to use the gloves, but because of how uncomfortable it is, it kind of prevents you from using the gloves even longer. But the actual thumb ergonomics, the placement of the thumb is good. You can see when I make a fist, the piping does its job by holding the tip of the thumb in, but it doesn't pull down on the thumb to where it might feel like my thumb jams into the very end right here. It doesn't feel shallow. Finger compartment is nice and deep. You also have a secondary grip bar, like a piece of neoprene that covers the stitching on the inside. The width is perfect, not too wide, not too narrow. One thing I wish this glove was a little bit more broken in right off the bat. This foam that they use in here is layered foam, but it's definitely more on the firm side. So I'll talk about that here in a second in terms of the performance and how these feel. But I personally am somebody that wants a little bit more of a softer foam that gives me a little bit more flexibility right off the bat when I first get them, with being able to open and close my hand. Now, granted, this will break in over time and really loosen up. But right off the bat, that's about as far as I can get with being able to open my hand to catch a shot. So again, I wish there was a little bit of a softer foam or an alternative model that you can get in the LU series glove like this one, but with a different style of padding. So definitely a little bit more on the stiffer side. But outside of that, everything else about the glove is very comfortable. Protection and performance, this is more on the protective end, more shock absorbent. You could definitely feel that when you land with a shot, the layered foam that they use in here disperses the shock really well. If you're somebody that wants something softer that you can feel your knuckles pierce through, this probably wouldn't be the best choice. I believe they do have fight gloves that may use a softer foam. I haven't tried them yet. That's just my best assumption with that. But it's going to definitely take time to soften this padding up because of how firm it is. A good training glove, in my opinion, good for bag work, good for hitting the mitts, and good for sparring as well. I think this is the type of foam, again, that's going to take a little bit of breaking in to really kind of soften it up to get it to that medium density and to really be able to give yourself the flexibility to open and close your hand. But again, definitely more on the protective end for those of you that are wondering if this is more of a protective glove that's more shock absorbent, at least when it comes to your knuckles, and I would classify it as that. Cost-wise, these gloves are currently $135, which is a fair asking point. And the reason I say that is that there's no glove out there that currently looks just like this in terms of a design. It's full genuine leather, uses layered foam padding. You do have a couple different size choices and colorways to choose from. And all things considered, with all the prices of a lot of other equipment going up, I think this is definitely a fair choice and a glove that I think you guys would enjoy using, especially for a training glove. I wouldn't classify this as a sparring or particularly just a bag glove. This to me is kind of that all-around gym training glove that you can use in the gym. There was a couple small opportunities with this glove, but there's really nothing glaring about it. There's nothing that shouts out, oh, don't get these gloves, or this is a huge problem with the gloves that I would mention in this video, because there's really none. I think it's overall a very solid glove, a great entry into this platform, into the boxing glove segment. I'm excited to see what else they come out with. Eventually want to try out their fight gloves and see how those perform, but currently at this price point, for what you get, the design, colors, the type of padding, I definitely think this is a solid glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do, put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box. We can find these ACTIVI Sports LU boxing training gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.